Good morning. I just got back from a walk on the beach, and because I know that putting my feet on solid ground is grounding for me and important actually for our health and well being, to put your feet on Mother Earth and get grounded in that way. And some thoughts came up for me that were really compelling. And one of them, the most compelling theme was that I'm an optimistic person, but I've been thinking so much about not the past, but more about the present, everything going on and what's going to happen, and my family and our culture and the world at large. And since I really don't have the ability to change that or see what's going to happen, I have to manufacture my own optimism about the future for myself. And so as I was walking, I was thinking about something that's this pervasive thing that we have as that we can have as humans. I've had it for sure, and that's this whole thing about it must be nice. Like it must be nice to be him, or it must be nice to live in that multi-million-dollar home, which I just saw on the beach, or it must be nice to have a private plane you could fly around in, so you don't have to go to airports, or it must be nice. It's like so interesting because I've even had people say to me, well, you're lucky. It must be nice to have your art during this time. And I was thinking about this because it's such a hostile way of feeling, because it's so disrespectful to yourself, first of all, because it's just such self-judgment. And then, of course, anybody that you're saying that about, because we have no idea what it took for that other person to get there. Usually it's a money thing, right? But sometimes it could be like health, creativity. It must be nice to be you, or, but I think that there's something really important to discover about that I just recently discovered. I went to a Joe Dispenza seminar, and I went this long meditation, and at the end of it, it was really profound for me. And I went out and I laid on the grass all by myself and wanted to kind of unravel it and figure out, like, what was it that was so deeply moving for me about that. And what it was this. I spent years and years being so resentful about my past relationship, about the way it turned out, about the financial aspect of it, thinking like, in fact, I spent, like, I don't know, months and months thinking, how can I create some kind of equality with that? Like, how can I make this person know that they owe me, or that they need to rectify the situation? And there was no way that was going to happen. But it was eating me up inside. And I decided in that seminar, I had this vision of my future self. This is before all this COVID stuff started happening. And my future self saying, I got you to here, and, taking this girl, this Becky, by the hand and saying, I've gotten you this far, which has been amazing, and you've come a long way, and now you're on your own, and it's, you're going to take it from here, and it's going to be incredible for you. And it made me cry and cry and cry. And so when I was unraveling that, laying there on the grass, what came up for me was that I wasn't still suffering a broken heart over that. That was so in the far distant past. It was the fact that, and then I thought it was like, well, it was the fact that that it wasn't necessary for me to have been so damaged financially, and then all the stories that weren't true about how well off I was left, and then I realized, nope, that wasn't it. What it really was, this is the whole thing. The whole thing is that I was worried and afraid that I wasn't capable of taking care of myself, of figuring out from here on for the rest of my life, how am I gonna support myself? How am I gonna make it? How do you make it as an artist? How am I gonna be without someone as a safety net for myself? That was so incredibly powerful for me to believe that, and to get it. I really got it in that moment. And it's back to what I was saying in another video about participating in your own rescue. And how did I get there? Well, I told you I was in a long meditation, and I so recommend meditation. I know everybody's saying that these days, and mindfulness, and it's like we don't want to do something that we're not good at, right? And I have to meditate every day so that I can eventually, sometimes it's faster than others, like fall into that groove. Maybe it's a guided meditation. I love Joe Dispenza's guided meditations and others, which is really helpful to help you just steer your mind in a direction. Being in nature, of course, but that deep dive of honesty, like really looking inside, like, because you're never upset for the reason you think. It's got to be something else. And in this crisis that we're in, this global crisis, I believe truly that it's a spiritual crisis. I think all of us that, and I think that's the answer. I think the spiritual crisis is not having that deep connection to whatever your source is, source of the source of the source, the divine source, because that's how we're created. That's one thing. And then I think the other thing, it's the biggest thing, obviously. And then I think that we all must really take a look at how we want our future to look like and feel like, and maybe in different categories and contextualize it. But if we're not thinking of what our future, our positive future can be, we aren't going to create it. And this is going to be over. I mean, by the end of this year, maybe we have a few hard months ahead of us. I think that's really accurate. And it helps me to believe that, because then I am not like thinking like, okay, well, one more month of this, because it seems to be going on, right? So give that some thought. And I definitely am embracing this idea that I'm absolutely capable.